We're just going live
Oh,
now.
there you go. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I see it.
It's improving. I've always saying 100% yet, but it's better. At least I feel like I got, get my strength back.
Yeah.
It'll
take sometimes 3 weeks or a month.
The lady at the clinic told me 6 weeks. I go, oh, really? That's after I had it 2 weeks. Oh, it's been a week later.
I was talking to I was gonna go to the clinic. Went into the RN, this friend of mine. And she said, "When we can buy." So it's getting better. Spring is coming.
Are you guys ready over there?
Yep, you're good.
All right, good morning. It is 9 a.m. We will call this meeting of the Codington County Commissioners to order. The date is Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. It is 9 a.m. All commissioners are accounted and present. It should be noted for the record that Commissioner Gable is present. He is streaming via Zoom this morning. And so thank you all for being here. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Cindy, I'll have you lead us, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If you have a cell phone, we would ask you to silence your cell phone so that it does not disrupt the flow of our meeting this morning. We would like to thank Commissioner Johnson for the roles as a result of last week. So thank you very much, Commissioner Johnson. Call for public comment. Public comment may be submitted in person or via telephone at 605-882-6248 this morning, or you can also call 605-882-6297. We'll take those public comments during the open part of our meeting. Make note of those numbers and you can call in if you choose to do that. Item number 3, conflict of interest. Are there any items on the agenda that are a conflict of interest amongst the commissioners?
No.
Okay. Item number 4, action to approve the January 10th, 2023 agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Moved by Waterman, seconded by Schwer. Motion pass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gable.
Aye.
Motion carries. Action item number 5, action to approve the January 3rd, 2023 minutes of the Board of Codington County Commissioners.
So move.
Moved
Second.
by Johnson, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, action to approve a request to sell alcohol at the Pro Pheasants event at the Extension Center complex. Go ahead and come forward, please. We'll have you turn on your mic and identify yourself by your name and your organization.
Just punch the button and agree on it.
There you go.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I am Marty Stemwittle. I am the Treasurer Secretary for the Codington County Commissioners. I have been a part of this board for the better part of 10 years. We are looking to sell alcohol again at the Codington County Extension Building. We have a Second Street Station. They cater it, they bartend it, they waitress it, they help monitor it as well as us. In all the years that we have been out there, we have never once had an issue. We've actually invited you folks out. If you would like to come and be a part and witness our event, you're more than welcome to. It's we'll grant you access, no problem. We'll feed you, we'll entertain you. We have invited Brenda Hanton and Tyler McElhaney when they were on the board. I don't know if you can back me up on that. Did you see any issues? Well controlled, well monitored?
I went several times.
We've never had an issue with law enforcement. We've never had an issue with underage. We do a very good job of monitoring and controlling the issue.
What's the date of this?
The 17th of February,
Did
We-
you mention whose license you're transferring?
Second Street Station.
Okay.
Missed it. We I lost my train of thought now, sorry. We usually shut the event down about that 10 o'clock. It can run as late as 10:30. But usually about that 10 o'clock, they're packing everything up, they're hauling it out. So it's not an all night event. It doesn't run till 2 in the morning. Nope, we are done about 10 at the latest 10:30. So.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson, second by Waterman to approve the request to sell alcohol at the Pro Pheasants event at the Codington County Extension Center Complex. And what was the date again on that?
February 17th.
February 17th. Okay. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye. Commissioner Gable?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Marty. Good luck to your event. Item number 7, we'll get on to our monthly reports. We'll begin with the Codington County Auditor, Cindy.
Last Friday, we got all of the paid 2023 tax notices run. The treasurer's office is preparing those right now to be mailed out in the near future. We're working on year-end procedures to get our year 2022 cleared out so we can start working on 2023. Our software actually lets us work in both years at once until we're ready to completely finish year 2022. We also have W-2s that have been prepared and sent out. I believe she laid them on your desks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. And other than that, we're just doing our normal day-to-day stuff. Moving forward.
Busy time of the year for sure.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else? Any questions? All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Cindy. We'll move on to the Director of Equalization report. Shauna, good morning.
Morning, Sean.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, so we are currently and still working on building permits within the city of Watertown. We're pretty much done in the county as of right now. The weather has put a little hinder on things, so we're kind of pushing right now, but we'll get them all done. Aside from the appraisers working on that, we're trying to get all of the new sales entered to get, well, now that the tax bills have been printed, then we don't have to push as much for that, but we want our assessment notices to have the correct names on them. So we want to make sure that we're updated on any transfers that come through. And then we're still, of course, working on trying to get our 2023 values put in the computer and put on the cards, because we'll be printing our assessment notices and sending them out next month already. So exciting times.
Fantastic.
Keeps on rolling.
Yes, it does.
For sure. Right. Any questions of Shauna? None? All right. Thank you,
All right.
Shauna.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week. Item number 8 is the action to approve the auditor's account with treasurer and note monthly register of deeds fees. Cindy.
The register of deeds fees for the month of December, the collections were $22,544.05. And then you have the auditor's report of the cash and cash items on hand as of the last day of December. Second page of the report shows you where our cash balances are in the general fund, the special revenue funds, and the pass-through funds.
All right. Do I have an action to approve?
Move approved.
Move to approve by Johnson,
Okay.
second
Okay.
by Chair Gable. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 9 is the year-end planning and zoning report. We'll bring Luke, our zoning officer, up to the front of the room.
Morning,
Good morning, Luke.
Commissioners.
I did make them copies.
Well, how about
Your
that?
email.
Then I'll just say.
I had time.
Good. Good morning. I'm gonna give a year-end report for 2022. I gave this report to the planning commission back in December. Really didn't update it because frankly, we didn't have any new building permits after that. So there are projected end of year sort of numbers as far as the expenses go. Hadn't really updated those since to be final, but it should be pretty close to where we'll end up there. So anyway, just kind of wanted to rattle through here through the middle of December of last year. We had issued 125 building permits with an estimated value of construction of $16.3 million, and new houses, we had 17 new houses. The only thing I don't have on here is, that I feel like is oftentimes asked is where does that sit as far as normal for housing starts in the county? Last year was an anomaly. We had 31 new starts last year. Generally speaking, our average over the amount of time, if you just take a trend line as far as houses for the last, as long as I've been doing this, and I think going back to 2005, is right on 17. Generally speaking, it's 17 to 19, and it's very rare we go outside of that unless there's something goofy going on with the banks where interest rates go really high or it's hard to get materials. So just kind of, that's a warning for the future.
I have a question on that, Luke.
Yeah.
When you said new residences,
Mhm.
does that include, is that on-site built or is that already built that are moved out?
That's any of them. Yeah, including trailer houses too. Yeah,
Okay.
I lump them all together just because it's kind of thinking about where we got new ones. The building permit fees, you can see where that is. The main thing, I guess, and then I can kind of rattle through a little faster, is that 125 building permits. That's the other thing. I've said this many times. If you look at the blue line on the annual building permits, aside from 2000 and either side 2019, 2021, sorry, you see that we're right at 125. I mean, again, we're sitting right in the mean all the way there. Generally speaking, that's where our contractors, that's the contractors we have. If you see many more than that, generally we've got commercial projects going on, is what's going on. Because generally speaking, that's more or less where we're at, and we wind up having an infusion of different contractors coming in. That's usually what we see. Those 80 and 107, remember 2020, 2021, and 2019. Those were not lazy years. Those were the years we had wind towers as well. Just so happened that they took a lot of that pressure off from some of the others. And remember, I didn't count those in some of those. So anyway, construction value, you can see the percentage on the pie charts that are on there. That indicates the percentage of construction fees that we collected as a county, as well as the construction value. Where it sits, the orange part of the pie is the quote rest of county. Blue is the joint jurisdiction area, which is the area for the commissioner's sake, in the gray on the map behind Commissioner Waterman. And so that's the area that 26% of our fees and 23% of our construction value came from. 77% of the construction value came outside of that in the rest of the 600 square miles of the county. So kind of gives you the idea there. Oftentimes, for what it's worth, I know our planning commission knows this, I say this a lot. While the building permits go there, I would say that 50%, if not more, of our questions come from that gray area that we have, including enforcement. Primarily, our enforcement is within that gray area. So from a standpoint of the chart on the next page, actually, let me go to Board of Adjustment information here. One special meeting that was caused because of had to redo a notice. Variances, conditional uses, combined actions, 25. Right-of-way vacation, we had one of them. And then the fees were $12.50. If you go to the next page there, then I just kind of have that combined, broken out by rest of county, joint area. Green is the joint area. Blue, sorry. Yes, green is the joint area, blue is the rest of the county, and then yellow is the combined, just kind of give you an idea as to where those proportions come out as far as board actions. You may look at that and say, gosh, the board's not doing a lot. Well, the bottom line is that's kind of the point. The board has spent, and you as commissioners have spent a lot of time in the last 5 years really trying to cut down on pretending that people are breaking the law when they're not. That's what a variance is. And so we're trying to say what we mean as far as the ordinance means, that if it's not against the law, then let's not make it against the law. So there are less variances being needed to be applied for. Plus people realize they're just not going to get it if it's something that is against the rules. On the other hand, the conditional use permits, we've done two things. One, the ones where we know that, 100 out of 100, we give these conditions, we do it this way. The board's worked and you have worked to try and get those to permitted uses so that we're not wasting people's time coming into the board for something that they need a permit on. That's not to say that we've wiped them all out. We're just not seeing a lot of large project expansions either. Right now we're in a build it phase instead of we had been in a build it phase as opposed to a plan it for a little bit. So Bottom line is, the end of the year, I had the budget, we came in below budget. By the end of the year, we should, with the projections, I would say that that's probably gonna be right. Costs, as far as costs are concerned, fees generated, combined to be 35,146. And it winds up being, less taken in than spent by 1,587 on a projection standpoint. And this will be, I don't know, I've been saying this for several years, and this year it really needs to happen. When you look at the number of applications we did, which was as a board, it was 25 applications. Generally speaking, we are about $100 to $200 lower on Board of Adjustment application fees by application than other counties that surround us. Chances are we're probably going to increase or need to increase those Board of Adjustment fees. Building permits probably are okay. But the Board of Adjustment fees may need to increase. We're finally getting things to where we're not asking for variances on things that don't need variances anymore. So that is the end of the report. Are there any questions for me?
So we're right where we should be, roughly.
Yeah, last
New
year,
residences.
last year by all accounts was an average year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically
Yeah.
the summary of it. Less Board of Adjustment items, and we like that, honestly. So that's good. Says people are following the rules.
Right. Thank you very much. Lou.
All yesterday.
No.
It's probably in your mailbox.
Okay, we'll check that.
Are you here for item number 14?
I'll stick around too, because I honestly haven't stuck around for this.
Should we just jump down and take 14 now, or is everybody okay with that if we do that? That's action to
Actually, 10
10.
first.
Okay, all right.
Let's do that one first.
All right, and item number 10 is action to appoint the planning and zoning board members.
And I'll give you, if it's okay, I'll introduce that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
And just for your own knowledge, and we get this question somewhat regularly. We've got, in a lot of counties that I work in, they have kind of a nominating committee for these, for planning commission, board of adjustment members, and it comes out of the planning commission itself. There is not, I wouldn't say necessarily a formal nominating committee out of the planning commission, rather they kind of serve as their own nominating committee. In this case, this year, we had 2 board of adjustment members, as always, we had 2 members, terms expiring, Robert Fox and Brenda Hanton. Brenda Hanton, as you're well aware, was an appointed individual who also happened to be on the county commission. Now she's no longer on the county commission. She's hoping to remain on that board. The planning commission recommends that she stay on. Robert Fox, on the other hand, has been serving since 1998 for 25 years on our board. And as he noted to the planning commission, still likes it, still would like to continue. But he said, we just, at some point, someone new has to be on. And so he thought it was probably time that he ought to be off. He felt like the board was in good hands, anticipating that Commissioner Hanton would still be around there with her institutional knowledge there as well. So, or former Commissioner Hanton, sorry, with her institutional knowledge. So the planning commission, as serving as their own essentially nominating committee, recommended Commissioner Hanton, former Commissioner Hanton, and Calvin Mack of the Kransberg area, who's got a little bit of background in sales, home-based business, as well as livestock and that sort of and other egg experience, of course. From my standpoint, I'm former FFA egg teacher, so, and I know he was involved in that too, so big deal to me too.
And I would sit on the board as a representative.
County commission as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Move approved.
All right, motion by Johnson,
I'll second.
second by Schwer. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, and we'd like to thank Robert Fox for his years of service on the planning board. That's fantastic. So thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Now we can do number 14.
Okay.
We'll take these in 3 actions. The first one is a contract for GIS website services. County share is $3,100.
Okay, so.
I'll briefly describe, I'll be honest, I didn't even check this to know that this was on. I'm glad you're doing it. As you're well aware, as far as the GIS services, many of you are aware, we've got the Codington MapNet site. Depending on how often you use it, some of you, I'm betting, use it almost daily, like I do, and I know a lot of realtors and folks out there do. Others, when they first find it, realize, holy cow, there's an online plat book, essentially. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I use it when I go hunting as well. But the bottom line is that this is a project to continue providing that information, updating layers and putting it on that website, that I'm sure that if you haven't gotten any feedback from, you would if it wasn't there. We'll put it that way.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Gable, do I have a
Second.
second by Waterman. Discussion.
It's a great
Total
service.
project cost of the year is $10,000. The county share is $3,100. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that cost is identical to the cost that we had last year, as I remember. So. All right.
Very useful tool.
I'm sorry.
No, I was
Chair
just saying, it's a very useful tool. I've used it
Yes.
a lot myself, so.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
The next one is the parcel database, updating the parcels in the directory equalization software, I believe it is.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you, I combined the two. Oftentimes they're not one and the same, but they're thought of as one and the same, because updating that from a standpoint of what that actually is, updating the parcel database, it's putting to paper, or it's putting the lines on the map of what the legal descriptions are, is what it amounts to, and updating those as sales come in to help be able to have that maintained. And that's, I believe, as far as I'm aware, that's going to be the same price as it has been
Yeah,
as well.
$6,000.
6,000,
Yes.
not to exceed 6,000.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion
Move
to
to approve.
move by Johnson, second by Gable? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
The last one.
motion carries. And the last item.
Yep, is the contract for zoning officer services.
All right, this is one that looks familiar to me. Now, this contract should look familiar because frankly, it is. It is almost literally the same document you had last year. This, of course, I'll put my nonchalance aside here and just say, I mean, this is a project that obviously that I'm involved in directly, serving as zoning officer. It's been a good project. It's been fantastic for me as someone from here to be able to do this job and continue to stay up to date and do the best we can. Hopefully the county feels the same. There are no, as I said, there are no changes. The amount, 30,000 plus it would be, it's 650 is what we had as far as a total amount of mileage to a total project cost to not exceed $30,650 over the course of next year. We'll have, the one thing I will say before I do that is that we will, a couple of things that we will likely do is that, and I haven't officially decided, but yet from a standpoint of trying to hold to the hours a little bit better, life is kind of shifting as far as our family, and when I drop kids off and things like that, there's a good chance we may start to shift some of those hours down closer to 8:30 to 11 in the zoning office, as opposed to I've been or 8:30 to 10:30 and then kind of wrapping stuff up towards 11, whereas a lot of times I'm wrapping stuff up at noon and kind of shifting that because I wind up wasting quite a bit of time end to end of town if I do that. And just the fact that I live on the other end, it makes it easier to go straight to your office. So anyway, that's that. And then we're also looking at trying to do from an online application and or and or also the record keeping standpoint to be able to follow it that way too.
Move to approve.
Motion by
second it.
Johnson, second by Schwer. And that contract amount is $30,650 a year. So, all right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much for your time, Luke.
Thank you, commissioners.
Appreciate your service to
Thank
the
you,
county.
Luke.
Moving on to item number 11, this is an action to appoint the weed board members. And we'll have Steve come up. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning. I have here for the board and so we had, two, of them are eligible back again. One was Ron Mooring and the other one was Chris Copland. Chris Copland had, decided he wanted to bow out, from being on the board. He had served on the board for 10 years. And so that, and the replacement is Mike Paulson. He's from Henry to serve on the board.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve.
motion by Chair Gable. By the second by Commissioner Waterman. Any further discussion on the weed board? None? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you very much, Steve.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Item number 12 is action to approve travel resolution. Cindy?
This is a new resolution that we had last year, and for whatever reason, there's no reason that we can't approve this resolution to stay in place until rescinded. So this is another resolution. It's the same as the one a year ago. There's just, this resolution shall be enforced beginning in 2023 and go forward until rescinded. So we won't have to take action on it every year because it does follow statute.
Okay, so
Move to approve.
moved by Johnson, motion by Johnson, second
Second.
by Gable. Any discussion on this item? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 13, action to approve operating cash transfers as budgeted. Cindy.
And when we set up the 2023 budget, we set up operating cash transfers to funds that we knew do not generate enough revenue on their own to operate. So the operating cash transfer from the general fund is $861,506. Of that amount, $504,604 goes to the highway department. $213,296 goes to the emergency management fund. $47,065 goes to the crime victims fund. $30,000 goes to the WIC fund, who we do receive funding from the state of South Dakota for the WIC program, but it's just not enough to support the full-time people we have in that position. And then the 24/7 budget, $67,141.
All right, I have a motion to approve that action.
So moved.
Motion by Schwer,
I'll second.
second by Gable. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we've already taken care of item number 14. Item number 15 is action to set compensation of 2023 election judges.
And this is something we have to take action on every year. This is not our election year, but in the event that we would have a special election for whatever reason, we need to have election judges in place. And my recommendation is to leave that at the same rate that we paid in 2022. That's $225 per election precinct workers plus $50 for attending the election school and training.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Johnson,
Second.
second by Waterman. Any discussion? Cindy, that's what we had this past year,
Yep.
same rate?
Yes, it is the
Okay.
same as what we paid in 2022. Yep.
All right.
And how are we doing for judges? We have plenty, we have
We had a lot of new workers this time, so we were able to fill our boards and have what we needed. We will always take names of people who wish to work and load them into our program. So we have something to look at when we're looking for somebody.
All right, sounds good. What are the requirements to be one of those judges?
There's not,
Or
I mean, it just, be able to sit for a long day.
Yeah.
12 hours. I mean, it's a long day to sit at the polls while you're waiting on people. Be courteous, that type of thing, just,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
nothing special.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Although my election workers are special.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
We appreciate their help.
Yes.
Couldn't do it without them.
They are excellent people.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, delinquent tax list available for review.
And this is one of our year-end projects. We have to run a list of the delinquent taxes, the delinquent parcels that have not been paid as of December 31st, 2022. It does include some parcels that are several years delinquent. And depending on how many years they are delinquent, the treasurer would start tax deed proceedings at some time. So anyway, that list is available for your review in my office.
Right,
it was published too in the paper. wasn't it?
That was Carol's list. That's something different. My list is everything that was delinquent as of December 31st. The list that she had to publish was everybody who had not paid by the second half payments
Oh, okay.
in October. So it's a little bit different. Some of those names that were published have come in and paid.
Yours will be longer.
Mine will be shorter.
Oh, sure.
Mine will be shorter because some of those people have come in since
Oh.
the end of October to the end of December. So, yeah.
that list is available for review in the county auditor's office.
Traditionally collects over 99% of our property taxes.
Nice,
So,
good.
yeah.
All right. Available for review in the county auditor's office, if anyone would like to see that. All right, there's no action on that item.
No,
Number 17, note office closure for January 16th. That is Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
per our policy, it's one of our observed holidays. There's no action needed on this either.
All right, moving on to action item number 18. This is action to appoint Commissioner Liaison Board and duty assignments. You do have a new list that was handed out this morning by Cindy. The one that was in your packet was an incorrect list, but that has been corrected now. So take a look at that. I guess we can have some discussion on that, see if anybody would like to change their liaison appointment for 2023. Commissioner Schwer, who just began his term here to replace Commissioner Hanton, will basically assume her responsibilities, her liaison appointments. And so if anybody has any questions or comments or anything on that, now's the time to discuss that before we set those for the year.
Just one quick comment on just on top of that. So the first district in local governments, that's going to be Commissioner Johnson. And that's a position that Commissioner Hanton held before. Other than that, so
One other,
the one on the screen is the latest copy, so it should match the latest one you have.
okay. One other addition to this list, Cindy, that I would like to add is I do sit on the Watertown Development Board of Directors representing the county. I'd like that to be added to the boards there if I could. It's not on there.
Yeah,
No,
we should, I can add it on there. Or,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was missing.
yeah, I didn't think about that either, but that's good point, good catch.
In
Okay.
the middle section then? I
yeah,
believe.
right in the middle. Yeah.
Okay,
All right. I suppose that would be an annual appointment too, I assume.
Well,
And
I think it depends on the bylaws of the development company. So it'll be in there. If you can get me that information, Commissioner.
do you know, Michelle? If, how often those appointments? Okay. Up to the discretion of the investor, Lee, so we can have a discussion on that further.
okay. So we'll just note that this list will be updated based on,
To reflect that.
you have to reflect
Okay.
that, yes.
Sounds good. Is everybody okay with that? Is there any more discussion on that? If not, we'll take action to set those liaison appointments for this year.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Gable makes the motion, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Schwer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Liaison appointments are set. Are those published? Those appointments, are they published
They're
anywhere?
published with the minutes. Yep. it
Okay.
will be minutes
We
right
also, Yeah, there's also a link on the website that we need to update as well on the commissioner page.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Gable. All right, number 19, discussion action to accept an RFP for the HVAC project in the detention center and courthouse, and we'll have maintenance supervisor Steve Mollengrath. Good morning, Steve.
Morning again. Well, as you last week, there was 3 participants that sent an RFP. One was West Plains Engineering from Sioux Falls for 360,000. CMTA from Fargo, 320 to 370,000. Johnson Controls did not have a quote for engineering, but they are offering as a turnkey resolution on their quote. I had talked to a few of them because Lee had a couple questions and so we had on exclusions, and those exclusions, I don't have them on hand, but they are some things that they don't really get involved in. So we had partially is design if they have to have fire extinguisher, and so we had they're not involved in that. Those are excluded from those RFPs. But did talk to gentleman from North Dakota. He did say that the variance is because of if there's extra additional trips, that's why there's a variance in that price quote. Did talk also to Johnson Controls. That gentleman talked and stuff, and he basically said they would be kind of more or less like a general manager on this project, whereas the other 2 would be basically design, bid and build systems. And so what that pertains is we would be somewhat the general unless we hired a general contractor, which would involve a lot of work. And then, of course, Johnson Controls does use CMTA as their engineering firm for their projects. So yeah, so through all the looking at everything and the discussions with some of the gentlemen, I would refer using Johnson Controls because they've been our provider for 30 years on our system. They also have all the control systems in our computer programs for each of the boilers to set. So that would be my recommendations to go forward with Johnson's. Just one question, Steve.
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't think about it before, but is this from Johnson Controls or the other one would be for our present system? If we would put on an addition somewhere or future, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Does this allow for any overage?
Well, the only thing would be is currently right now what they had gave an estimate was we have 3 boilers. 2 are in the detention center, which supplies pretty well all the heat for the detention center and courthouse. And then we have 1 in the courthouse, and that one there is basically a backup for in case of one goes down in there. Also, if temperatures go below 20 degrees, that one will also help assist. So if there would be future things, I would imagine then there would be 1 added back into the courthouse, because what it is we're replacing 2 for the 3 we have now is what it would be. These are way more efficient, like 80% more efficient. Of course, you think 30 years ago compared to even everything now technology, how much more efficient they are.
Well, I was just thinking of plumbing and
Yep.
piping and
Yeah.
and
I mean, we'd have existing, there'd probably be some reconstruction of some plumbing, but most of the plumbing would be probably existing here, feeding back to
Okay.
supply this area.
that's kind of what I figured, but I was just.
That's a good question,
we'll never know.
Commissioner Waterman, because we have to plan for future.
Right,
expansion.
one of the things, and so that Johnson Controls, they will do, they'll do all the bids and so that process, and they'll go and we will be involved with the bidding. So that they try to get as much local vendors as possible for the area. So if we electricians, the heating, ductwork and everything like that, try to get everything as local as they can possibly do. They really want to support the community as well in this project.
Well, they've proven themselves in the past for a long time, and what you're asking for is a motion to approve Johnson Controls.
Yes, that was what
I
I'm
would
asking.
make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Waterman, second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion on this item?
I'm pretty much lost here. I don't know. There's no dollar amount.
The dollar amount basically is what they're doing is a whole bit of what they had quoted.
But I
Oh,
don't have dollar amount to list in the minutes.
Okay,
For their engineering services. I don't know how you can
So it's
accept a quote when you got two others that submitted dollar amounts, and then there is nothing for Johnson Control.
yeah,
I don't think we're fulfilling our requirement here.
So we probably do need to have something, I would imagine. Otherwise, it's a open check blank, right?
Well, you're not.
Commissioner Gable,
not
did you have something?
Maybe
Yeah,
anything
so-
that you're going to pay Johnson Controls. That's the
I think-
problem.
I think we might need a little clarification because I think the RFP said we want them to manage the contract, basically want them to manage the contracting services. At least that's what I thought we put. Maybe we need to go
Right,
look
but
at
don't you
that.
need a limit, a dollar limit?
And that's why the CMTA one looked like it was doing basically that, and you could tell what the dollar amount was. I think Johnson Controls is basically saying we'll fit the whole thing within the overall project budget line.
yeah, that's
Um,
basically what he had told me too. We try to keep everything underneath. They're trying to refer basically their CMT as their provider. I do know that CMT and Johnson Control was in communication with this RFP when it was going together. So,
But my
So
point
it does, yeah.
accepting a proposal without a
a
dollar
dollar
amount.
amount.
Right.
I think what we should do is go back and ask Johnson Controls for some clarification, because it does make it hard to do apples to apples in this case. I think I know what we're looking at, but
Well, and that's
Johnson
not
Controls-
really fair to the companies that did submit dollar
Right.
amounts. So I think we owe it to them. So
Okay.
we know exactly where we're coming in. So,
Yeah,
all right. So what do we do with this item then? Should we just,
I would rescind my motion.
okay, motion rescinded by Waterman.
Yeah.
on, just to give you a little bit of, the one that had the exclusions was WPE. And that they had an exclusions thing on theirs that I didn't see in the other two proposals. So that's kind of what got my attention, and I thought this, I was gonna propose CMTA as the to accept their proposal is what I was thinking of doing when I came into this. So what do you think of that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It was
Okay,
just gonna be a matter of time. Everybody seems to be.
Right.
getting-
Yeah,
All
one
of a
of,
sudden, they are not available anymore.
yeah, that's been the general rule. And so I mean, I had two other ones that would have submitted. One did submit earlier and they basically had to push out the project till the start of May. And so one of the things is the way that
What was the proposal for CMTA? What was their amount?
32 or 320,000 to 370,000. They gave an estimate because of additional costs for an estimate cost because of travel expenses for
Okay.
being at the contract or construction sites.
Okay, so Commissioner Gable, is that a motion then?
Yeah, I'll
By
make that
you.
motion to accept the proposal of CMTA. I put there's a spreadsheet on the screen. I think you guys can see it. It was my little worksheet to try to figure this out myself, so.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion to accept the proposal by CMTA. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Waterman. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Good discussion on that item. Thank you very much, commissioners. Item number 20 is action to approve claims for payment. Cindy.
The claims list that you have copies of totals $345,211.78. And I do have one additional claim that needs to be added to that because I finally got everything I needed to make our payment to the state of South Dakota for motor vehicle collections and register of deeds collections. So in addition to the amount that's on your list, the grand total, We will also be paying the state of South Dakota $456,055.58, and that's our normal monthly payment. Close to our normal monthly payment to the state based on motor V collections in December, register of deeds collections in December, and a couple of other smaller things. So does anybody have any questions on?
I
The
just have
list.
one under at line 58 on care for the poor, City of Castlewood for $510.98.
Housing, I think.
That would be a question for the welfare office. I believe they had a client, and I'm not positive on this. I believe they had a client apply for assistance who had unpaid utility bills in other, apparently in the city of Castlewood, and before the utilities here would agree to hook the person up, the delinquent in the other city was to be be paid also, but this would be a question for the welfare office.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Commissioner Waterman, are you okay with that, or do you
Yeah,
want to
no,
wait?
I'm fine. I'll check with Sarah.
Okay, okay. All right, so we need a motion on that.
moved.
So motion by Johnson, second
Second.
by Gable. Any discussion?
There's not too much, nothing really out of the ordinary in this claims list, so.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now I need to find my page 2.
On the backside, sorry.
Let me have your
Oh.
page 2.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Item number 21 is action to approve automatic budget supplements. This is for the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Initiative funds.
And these are the funds you discussed last week with the Boys and Girls Club, and the state's attorney recommended paying these out to the Boys and Girls Club. So we need to do an automatic supplement to the state's attorney's budget in order to pay these out.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Schwer, second by Gable. Any discussion?
and that's the 35,000.
$35,000. 577.60. Yep.
577.60.
So it's just an in and out in the state's attorney's budget. No cost to the county on that.
All right. Anybody else have any discussion? If not, those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 22 is action to approve personnel changes.
Nothing today.
Nothing for 22. 23, action to approve travel requests.
So in our personnel policy, there is a section that allows a department head who knows of certain travel that is going to be coming up during the year to submit a request. And this, then they don't have to come in before the travel. They can get all of these approved. Our emergency management director took advantage of this, and he listed the events that he knows are coming up this year. And then changes to the list above or travel will be resubmitted using a standard travel request form. So I have redacted the dates and times. I can give those, I can let you see those, but for, you know, security reasons, we don't publish those. So
Sure.
there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 events he knows of that are coming up. So
And they are all in state,
yes,
Pierre, Aberdeen, and Deadwood. All
Yep.
right.
yep.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Waterman, a second by Commissioner Gable. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item number 24, public notices, a possible quorum of commissioners could be in attendance at. Does anybody have anything that you're aware of this week?
I don't think so.
Quorum would be 3 or more of us at one event. I don't have anything. Okay. We'll move on. Number 25, anybody have anything for old business? No old business. 26 is new business. Nothing for new business. 27, open. Time and place for public comments. None, and I don't believe we received any phone calls, any commission comments at all?
Rules are here.
Rules are
I have
here,
stopped, had a roll after meeting.
right? Thank you, Commissioner Johnson, for that.
And remainder can go into the office, okay?
Right. All right, number 28, action to enter into executive session per South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2. We do have a need for executive session under what? Under one, which would be discussion of personnel issues. Look for a motion to enter into executive session at this time. Moved by Johnson.
I'll second.
Second by Gable. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Waterman, did you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
You just wasn't loud enough.
All right, sounds good. Motion carries. We are into executive session with no action to follow. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. No action to approve. We are now into executive session.
Morning, JP. Yeah.
I'll hit the door when I.
Thank you.